BYD have just released their third quarter earnings report. They've made a gazillion% more profit, or something like that anyway. And I've just seen their new electric SUV. It looks a lot like the Land Rover Defender, but electric and way better. However, it costs more than a Tesla Model X. Will people buy it? Well, here's what I think. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers and welcome back everyone else. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a bit of a crazy day here in Melbourne. Somebody stole my bicycle from the back of my car in the McDonald's parking lot. I ain't real happy about it. I love that bike and I ride it with my boys every week when we train BMX. So we do BMX racing together sometimes. The boys do racing. I don't race because, I ain't that good. But they're awesome and I do love riding with them. And I'm trying to find a new BMX bike to buy and I can't find anything. Anyhow, I'm sure I'll sort it out soon. BYD, what's going on? Well, as all of you know, BYD and Tesla are the only two car companies on planet Earth that anyone is aware actually makes a profit selling electric cars. It's harder to make a profit than it is to just sell them at a loss in order to gain market share, which is exactly what BYD were doing in order to gain market share. And it worked for them. And then they increased the prices. They were able to increase their battery supply. They were able to make the company vertically integrated. And now they're doing some pretty damn impressive stuff. Now, realistically though, BYD is still quite a small company in comparison to companies like even Tesla, Ford, General Motors, and of course, Volkswagen and Toyota. But in Q3, they made $786 million in profit. That's about what Ford lost in Q3, which was an increase of 350% year over year. And all of that profit was from doing what the future is, right? Selling batteries, lithium iron phosphate batteries, selling electric cars. Plug-in hybrids, I'm not so convinced that they're the future, but they will be for a few years still to come. BYD announced its third quarter earnings, saying its revenue was $16.1 billion US dollars. Now, for some context, Tesla's revenue was $22 billion. They made a profit of around $5.5 billion. So yeah, as you can see, Tesla's still making a lot more money than BYD. But that said, BYD is doing some pretty amazing stuff as well. They are building a lot of factories. They're also retrofitting existing factories where companies go bankrupt and BYD jumps in and goes, we'll use this factory. We'll buy it dirt cheap. We'll convert it. We'll make EVs in that factory. Now, I'm not convinced in that strategy simply because I don't know how you go putting cars, putting these production lines into a factory that's not purpose built for your actual facilities, for your production lines. I don't know how that works. But I mean, in Tesla's case, they've made it work at Fremont, but it wasn't really ideal. Now, let me know what your thoughts are on BYD's strategy there. I get why they're doing it. They're getting these factories dirt cheap and the factory's already there. They can just move in straight away, start producing batteries or start producing electric cars. That's why they're doing it. So if we look at BYD's quarterly revenue, and we look back to 2020, you can see their revenue in 2020 was literally peanuts compared to today. I mean, they've either doubled or tripled revenue within the space of 2 years. And fortunately for them, they're no longer making a loss on EVs. That's the most important thing here. Even more important than this, though, is the fact that BYD's net profit has increased astronomically since last year. In fact, their net profit last Q3 last year was 1,270 RMB. It's now 5,716. So that's a fourfold increase. Fourfold. That's amazing. In fact, it's an increase of 923.2% from the same quarter last year. I think I got it right on this one, guys. I think I called it correctly. When BYD raised their prices in China, they said it was because of materials cost. They were being affected by all these different supply chain issues, and I called baloney. Not to say I'm a critic of what BYD is doing. I think it's great. But I said, they're doing this in order to just make more money. Well, I think it's pretty clear that was correct. If they hadn't had all those extra costs, how on earth did they increase their profit by a massive figure, right? 350% and revenue by 950%. Well, clearly they raised prices to make more money because they had an order backlog of 700,000 vehicles. That's called supply and demand. That's called taking advantage of the market. So BYD expects to sell 1.8 million vehicles this year. Obviously around about 50% plug-in hybrids and 50% fully electric cars. 3.2 million next year and around 4 million in 2024. Can they do that? Can they go from 1.8 million this year to 3.2? Yeah, absolutely. Based on what they're doing now, based on how quickly they're ramping up battery production, based on their history over the last 12 months, that is entirely achievable. What surprises me though, is they're saying they're only going to increase their capacity or their sales from 3.2 million next year to 4 million the year after. You would think 3.2, maybe they could make a jump to 5 million the following year, but maybe they're just being conservative and those figures will change. For the entire year though, BYD's earnings per vehicle, they're still pretty low. They're expected to be about RMB 7,000. That's only just over $1,000 per car sold. That means obviously per vehicle sold, they're making a lot less than Tesla. So Tesla's being criticized for the fact that BYD are now selling more vehicles than they are, even though they're a combination of plug-in hybrids and full electric cars. So I'm not sure that it's an apples to apples comparison. I think it's not. But anyway, the key point here is the other thing to consider is profitability. If BYD was making $1,000 per or $1,200 per car, the market would tear them to shreds. They'd be like, this is terrible. But the thing is, for BYD to do this, I still think it's a good achievement. They're actually making a profit. That's the key. They can ramp at this scale. They can continue to ramp at this scale. It works. What about BYD's new electric car? Well, for starters, BYD have just started selling the Atto 3 in India. They're planning on building another factory in India to make more EVs. I think that could work for them because they sell pretty affordable cars. I think that'll work well in India. In addition though, we've seen now BYD's new electric SUV. It's a so-called hardcore high-end electric vehicle. To me, it looks very similar in size, like I said, to the Land Rover Defender, the new Defender I'm talking about, especially from the back. If you look at it from the back, it looks extremely similar. I'm a big fan of this car. I'm not a fan of the price. $118,000 for the base model in China. Are they going to sell them? I have my significant doubts. They could. I mean, the brand does have a lot of kudos and a lot of value in China right now, but not as a premium electric vehicle manufacturer. And I think $120,000 is a lot of money for a base model vehicle. I mean, that's going to mean it's going to be about $200,000 if that comes to Australia, in Australian dollars, of course, but still. Now, we don't know a lot about it, but I do know I like the look of it. However, it's a very boxy design. It's got high ground clearance, fairly biggish tires. Honestly, the range and efficiency of this car probably won't be that high. Maybe that's why the price is high. Maybe BYD is putting in a huge battery pack in order to kind of get over the fact that the vehicle is shaped like a brick, which obviously isn't great for range in a car like this. Some people are saying that this will be BYD's most expensive car when they come out with their new brand. They're coming up with a new expensive luxury brand. This is going to be the first vehicle to come out of the market under that new brand. They're saying that this could be, right, the most expensive car in the lineup. It's going to cost just over 800,000 yen in the base model variant. It's going to come with 650 horsepower. Every version will be four-wheel drive. Realistically, this could actually be the first proper off-road SUV that's electric come to market. Of course, though, the Rivian SUV I think would be a pretty good match for this, and it's going to be cheaper. So that's definitely worth keeping in mind. Now, it's going to come with two versions, a 5-seat version and a 7-seat version. And frankly, we don't know a lot else about it. Apparently, the details of this car are going to come out in about February of next year. I've got to say, I'm excited for it because, frankly, to price a car this high, it's got to have something pretty damn awesome about it. What is it? What's so awesome? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Would you consider paying this kind of money for a premium electric BYD SUV? Personally, I wouldn't, but I did just buy a BYD Atto 3. I've paid. I have no idea when I'm going to receive that car because BYD in Australia here, who knows? Wacky stuff is going on right now. I'll probably talk to you guys about that in a new video, tell you what's happened in a new video. And, you know, you can see all the craziness that's going on. It's been, wow, a bit of a shit show. Anyhow, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.